Thanks for stopping by for another episode of 60 Days to Living. This one's going to be a little different than ones we've done in the past. It's not going to show us going out and trying to make additional income or showing you our side hustles or telling you what we're working on. What I really wanted to do in this one was explain kind of where the idea of 60 Days to Living came from. And to do that, I think I need to tell the middle of the story, then the beginning of the story, followed by the ending or the going forward plan of the story. So we'll start in the middle, back in about February or March. So we'll start in March when I moved over to this new company that I work for. I had worked for my last company for a very long time, and I decided it was time for me to make a move, right? There was things I wanted to accomplish in my life that I didn't feel that the other company was going to really help me do. And so this new company is called ClickFunnels. It is a company that is built for entrepreneurs, by entrepreneurs, and a famous saying at the office is proximity is power. And I really believe that, right? So this environment is, surrounds me with people who are entrepreneurs or have that marketing mindset, and I absolutely love it. And one of the cool things about my job is I get to sit in on a lot of presentations where entrepreneurs from all around the world get up and tell their story, tell what they're doing that's successful. And I think the coolest part is hearing their story, right? So a lot of these people get up and they tell their story, their backstory, where they came from. And a lot of them start the same place. Like, I was broke, I was working at Subway, and the reason I was working at Subway is so I could eat a sandwich every day, and that was the only meal I got. I was living in my parents' basement. I mean, all these things are part of their stories, and it was absolutely amazing to hear. And that one thing that they had in common was their backs were against the wall, and they had no other choice but to find a way to make it out of there and to make money. And so I remember after listening to those stories for a couple days, I came home and I told my wife, I was like, hey, look, this is what we're doing. We have to stop paying for anything with our income. We have to find a way to supplement it with other side jobs and make it. That didn't go over too well, so then it moved into, hey, let's see how much additional income we can make, or let's live off a minimum wage and then see how much additional income we can make. And then it turned into, maybe we should just see if we can make any additional income. And so that's kind of the channel you see now. Obviously, this channel is going to continue to evolve. There's things that I want to do with it. So it's not just going to necessarily be 60 Days to Living. It's just going to be the life of the Cliffords. But so that's kind of where this came from, right? And ClickFunnels really helped do that, and those people, because like, it motivated me to start this channel or to do other things that I wasn't really comfortable doing before. And so absolutely love the company for that. And so we'll go kind of to the beginning, right? So that's kind of how the channel got started. If we go back to the beginning, when I was 22 years old, I started my own company, dumped some money into it, and it ended up not working, right? I thought I had done everything right. I was going to use social media. I had worked out partnerships with some of the big names in the industry, and it just didn't work, right? I couldn't figure out the logistics and how to get my shipping down in cost. I was hoping to go off of volume and not high margins, and that just didn't work. And so that kind of, pushed me away from following that path. But then last year, came across a book. It was on sale at Hastings, now out of business, so thank you, Hastings, for the discounted book. But it was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I absolutely love this book, right? It kind of got that mindset back, or kind of helped me get back in that mindset. Okay, like, what can I do to make more money? What can I do to, work for myself? And then, later on in that year, we went to Hawaii with some friends, and I remember just waking up early. I was the first one up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I went out on the balcony, and it was just me, and I was sitting there. I was like, this is life. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to be able to wake up, come out on this balcony, and work on a laptop. And so then I was like, okay, I was super motivated, came home, and I just didn't know where to start. And so over the next few months, I kind of touched back on Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I started reading, different books. Like, I love this one, The Power of Habit. Like, how can I shape my mental state, and how can I, break these bad habits that are keeping me from achieving my goals. And then came across Russell Brunson and .com Secrets. I mean, it is probably the greatest book on marketing, right? Like, I don't think there's a better book than this anywhere. And so that's kind of like what led to me moving to ClickFunnels, making that move, and then this channel here. To jump forward a little bit, right? So it was a little hard convincing my wife to do this channel with me. I think, we need to find our strengths and really double down on them. Gary Vaynerchuk says that a lot. I know other people say that. My wife doesn't feel very comfortable behind the camera, and that's okay. She's probably not going to be in many videos going forward, but I think that's going to help with the direction of this channel going forward. It's still going to be some of the things where I'm going out to garage sales and reselling on Facebook, or going to Marshall's and reselling on eBay. I'm super excited for an episode that's coming up where we show you how I was able to launch a product on Amazon. kind of the workarounds that we had to do, some of the finagling we had to do. I'm really excited for that episode. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully it pays off. But I also want to start bringing on other like-minded people, right? I mentioned it earlier. Proximity is power, and I want to surround myself with those people as much as possible. So I have good friends, one starting a business. I want to bring him on, talk about the hardships he's faced, and kind of the motivational factors that drove him to follow this path. I have a buddy who's doing a podcast and really want to bring him on, talk about how he really set himself up to get in the position he is now and what he plans on doing moving forward. I have another buddy who's already started a business. Really want to bring those people on, and it's not only for myself, it's for you, it's for them. Proximity is power. We learn from one another. And so I'm really excited for those things on this channel as well going forward. And that pretty much wraps up this week's episode. Like I mentioned, it's different than the ones that have been put out in the past, but I really wanted to dive in and talk about, the backstory of 60 Days to Living and this channel, and then talk about the direction going forward. So when you come back, in a few weeks, you're not surprised like, hey, what the heck? This isn't what I was used to in the first couple episodes. So that's really what the point of this episode was. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you back next week on another episode of 60 Days to Living.